Let's talk a little bit about Linda Sarsour's endorsement of Bradley Manning. Oh, I guess we're supposed to call it Chelsea Manning, whatever. But Manning's run for Senate as a Democrat in Maryland. Before we get to an article that was on conservative firing line by Faye Higby called Sharia Proponent Linda Sarsour endorses traitor Chelsea Manning for Senate. Perfect match. I want to point out that she's endorsing him against Ben Cardin, who is a Jew. And in fact, I believe he belongs to a modern Orthodox synagogue in Maryland. I mean, he's not really living up to the stereotype from things I hear behind the scenes of Jews as particularly smart. I hear he's a little bit of a dope. Not the most left-wing Democratic senator, so that could be a factor here too. He's probably middle of the road, more middle of the road than most Democrats in the Senate at this point. But keep that in mind. It's not in the article, but let's get to this article. By Faye Higby at conservativefiringline.com. Washington Times a few days ago reported that Sharia proponent, I think that's a little bit strong, anti-Israel, Muslim/feminist activist Linda Sarsour has endorsed traitor Chelsea Manning, who I call Bradley Manning, in the race for Maryland Senate. And the Twitter universe is having a field day. Okay, so it's a typical article along these lines. You know, let's see what people put on Twitter. I've made plenty of them myself. We all have to earn a living. This isn't quite clickbait, but that's how a lot of articles are written. They keep the costs down and they're quick to write. But so be it. I do it too sometimes, but I'm more committed to making videos right now, which may have something to do with the fact that I lost some weight recently. And look, I'm not totally 100% comfortable behind the camera. That's why I can't figure out whether to put the glasses on or off. I try to read without them, then eventually I put them back on. But this is her tweet from January 13th. Which was, I guess, 8 days ago already. If you are cool with Sheriff Arpaio running for Senate in Arizona, but up in arms that Chelsea Manning is running in Maryland, you, my friend, are a hypocrite. Hypocrite, all caps. And then there's an F the police aspect to it. And then there's this picture of Chelsea Manning with oh, God. And then Faye Higby points out, for starters, Arpaio was convicted for doing his job. Manning was convicted for giving away classified documents under the Espionage Act. Sarsour knows full well that under Sharia, Manning would be pitched off the roof of a building or stoned to death or both. That would be because of being a so-called transgender, not because he spied and he disclosed confidential information that the infidel had put together. Okay, but going on with what Faye Higby says, but then we are fully aware that Linda Sarsour doesn't support the government and neither does Manning. She also hates police. She also hates Trump and the U.S. government. It may be the perfect match for traitors, terrorists, and fools. And by the way, the reason that image I had before when I started this of her as a cockroach is because Sarsour actually means cockroach or insect, but I think cockroach in Arabic. And she's embraced that, by the way. It's not like she tries to hide it, so maybe that's to her credit, but, you know, it's easy to make a caricature of her that way. Then we have a tweet from Harry Kachatrian, who, when I do my show Backlash, my podcast, I've had him on many times. Great Twitter account, great guy. Never met him in person, but he's up in Canada, and I really respect the work he does. And he just said it concisely. Good luck finding a more perfect couple. Yeah. Truly a divinely matched couple, same idea. And then we get to this point. You're basically calling yourself a hypocrite because you support Manning but not Arpaio. That is a good point. Yeah, because she supports one, not the other, as was pointed out there. And then Igor Gorlick, who clearly is Jewish and embraces that because of the 3 parentheses on both sides. He writes, what would be Bradley Manning destiny in Sharia law ruling country? Is supporting a trans man make you a hypocrite? I don't even know. I know gays often get thrown off rooftops, but transgenders, and are there people who, I heard something about transgender surgery in Iran. Iran is not the Arab world, but I've heard some interesting things about things that go on over there with that. Maybe that was under Ahmadinejad, whatever. I'm off topic. Then we have this. Bradley Manning can't even trust his own gender. Why should I trust him? I don't even know what that means, really. Come on. This one's too easy. Do your leaders and mentors know you're supporting Chelsea Manning? Yeah, because it's basically to create chaos, or because he or she or it is running against a Jew. That could be a factor there. And, you know, pro-Israel Jew for someone who's a Democrat. So yeah, I'm sure the leaders and mentors do support it, and especially the goal is often to just create chaos in the infidels' country. Look, it's not too dissimilar from some of the tactics Genghis Khan had used. I'm reading 2 books on Genghis Khan right now. One's very good in particular by I think his name is Jack Weatherford, definitely Weatherford, about the conquest of Europe. More of the same. Tell us, Linda, sweetie, how high a building Mr. Manning would be thrown off from your religion of peace? Just asking. And someone else points out, Sheriff Arpaio was doing his job. Manning is a convicted traitor. Big difference. Here's a point about the Me Too hashtag. Me Too, Me Three, Me Four, Me So Horny, Me Love You Long Time, as I call it. Ariel Barkai writes, if you organized a women's march but allowed one of your employees to have some dude rub his balls on her, that's an allegation against Linda Sarsour that came out a few weeks ago, and threatened to fire her if she complained, you are a hypocrite. Yeah. And then, no thanks, not taking political cues from a terrorist. Well, I think the issue is more that she supports terrorist organizations, not that she is a terrorist. Let's just try to be fair about it. She's totally despicable, but calling her a terrorist, I don't know. And then, just this at the end, Linda Cockroach, she's proud of that, by the way, wants a traitor to the U.S. to run for Senate and win. Color me surprised. It fits right in with her desire to destroy America and install her own morality here. Yeah, I mean, who knows what's really going on there. It may be that she's abrasive, and then there will be another Muslim female leader who comes out who's much more mild, less obnoxious, and then she'll seem so much better by comparison. Like what some people said about Hillary Clinton with Bernie Sanders running. It didn't work out that way, but they said, well, he's going to seem so far to the left that Hillary Clinton will seem moderate. It's really not the way things worked out, but just a thought. And she gives a hat tip to Uncle Sam's Misguided Children, which she writes for as well. That's not a neo-plagiarism hat tip. That's Faye Higby actually just cross-posting the article. But that's all I got on this. Hope this was somewhat worthwhile, not a waste of time. Basically I just read the article, which was reading tweets. That's journalism today. But maybe you were walking your dog or something, so this is useful, or you're driving, and so you can listen, but it would be dangerous to write it. I don't know. Enough of your time.